Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So today I thought I'd share with you some sewing plans, something I've had an idea to make. And I've had this fabric for a little while. It was something that I was gifted last year, or maybe it was the year before, when I was given a bundle of fabrics. And I was given these fabrics because somebody's who I know, an acquaintance, their mum unfortunately passed away, and she was a dressmaker, and I have mentioned this in the past. She gave me quite a large bundle of fabrics and I passed them on to my friend, and I still have quite a few left. Now I've worked on a few of them, but some of them have been sat in the cupboard and I really don't like things just sitting there not doing anything. And one of them was this fabric here. I'm going to show it you now. Now it's a lovely fabric, but I was uncertain what to do with it. I believe it's tweed. Now, because of the nature of it, and you can see the weave at the side here, and it is quite a narrow length of fabric, but there's 4 meters, and so I've been looking at it and I could get a jacket out of it. So it's a lovely fabric. It's sort of a brown and a deep green in the weave. So what I thought was, so it'd look more modern, I would make a sort of denim jacket style. So the two ideas that I had in mind, I've made both of them before, but only one of them was for me, because one of them was for a work project. So I made the Mimi G style one recently in this denim here for a work project. So it wasn't in my size, so I couldn't check the fit. But I know it came out really nicely. It does have, however, a lot of top stitching on this one, and I was worried that that would get rather lost in the design on the weave of the fabric. I have made twice before and I know the fit really well. This one, the Birdie Young, so I've made this in a black sort of slight stretch denim. I've had that a few years now and I wear it a lot, and it's a real favourite of mine. And I've also made it in a cotton fabric for the summer, and I've chosen to line both of them, and that's worked really well. So I think they're very similar in style if you look. This one's just got slightly more top stitching in the panels at the front, and this one has side pockets. This one doesn't have the side pockets, but I can always add an inside pocket for my phone on that one. So I think I'm going with this one because I know the fit, and it hasn't got as much detailing that's going to get lost in the weave of the fabric. So I think that's probably going to be my decision. Please let me know in the comments what you think. So they're both really nice. This one is also slightly longer, and it does have the side pockets as well as the front ones there. These are quite mock ones on this one, and these ones are functioning top pockets. Not that I use a top pocket very often. So that's the Birdie Young 7018, the one that I've made. Now, what I thought was, if I was going to make it, I'm definitely going to make a lining for it. So what I generally do is I just cut the same pieces again, make up a whole other jacket in lining, and then I fit it inside before I do all the finishing touches. So to go with this fabric, I don't know if you can see it. Why is it clear? I'm going to put it nearer to the camera. It does go a bit bright when I do that. Very much a winter fabric. As it's got some green in it, I've got these pieces left. There's quite a few pieces there, so I think there would be enough with this jacket being mainly in sections to make it up out of that. So I think the green would go with it. But then I've also got, and I know it's not in the fabric, but I think it goes really nicely with it, this more luxurious lining, which has got this sort of jacquard. I think that still goes. I think the red looks nice, and that would give it a nice colour pop on the inside. So maybe this one. Let me know what you think about those two. I just think that one's got a nicer look to it. These are pieces that I've got left. So if I didn't have quite enough to have the same going down the sleeve, I could always do something slightly different, because I've got quite a few leftover lining pieces. So as long as it's showing inside the body with the nice one, it doesn't matter if it's got something slightly different going down the sleeve, as long as you can still slip it on nicely. So that's what my thoughts are on that. The other thoughts were top stitching thread. Now I'm trying to use up things that I've already got rather than just buying more things when I don't have to. So I have got some reels that have got top stitching thread left on in this shade, which is the one that you tend to use with the denim. And again, it's not a colour that is in the fabric, but I think it goes rather nicely, and probably it would show up the top stitching. Now I could always try it, and then if I don't like how it's looking, pull it out and use a different colour, but I'm thinking of going for that one because I've got a couple of those with some left on. I think there would be enough. You tend to get ones that have just got so much left on a reel, and then I put them to one side, and I've got about 3 or 4 of them, so if I can use those up, that would be great. And then jeans buttons that I've got left from different things, different packets on the go here. So I haven't just been wasteful and buying them. As I said before, I sometimes get to do them for work and I end up with odd ones left. And also you find that when you're knocking them in, sometimes you get a bent one, which I've got in this packet and I can see. So looking at these, I'm going to need, let's have a look. I can't really remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm going to need 10 because I need one for the cuffs as well. And how many have I got in these packets? Let's have a look. Well, without the bent one, I've got 7. I am going to have to buy another packet for the case of 3. I'm going to have a good look round and make sure I haven't got any more anywhere else. But I thought these would go. So these are the brass jeans buttons. So I thought if I use these on the front and on the pockets and then do the buttonholes, I don't know if I'll have to do them bound on this or whether I'll get away with doing a regular buttonhole. I'll have to have a little test and see what I think. So if you've used this tweed, let me know how you've got on with the buttonholes on that, because I want to be careful that when I'm cutting it that we don't have lots of unravelling. We'll have to see. So that's my thoughts on that. That's the plans. I thought if I made it a sort of denim jacket style, it would look more modern because the fabric is quite traditional, and I thought if I made anything like a blazer or anything like that, it might look a little bit old-fashioned. So that's what I've got in mind. So another idea I had was mixing sort of denim with the tweed, and maybe doing some of the panels in denim and some of the panels in tweed, and maybe doing the collar in the denim. So I have seen a couple of images like this. I'll try and find them and insert them here. Sort of mixing up the fabrics a little bit to try and make it look a little bit more modern. And also my first thought was if I didn't have enough. Looking at it, I do have enough fabric. Even though it's a narrow width of fabric, there is quite a bit of it. So I don't think that'll be a problem, but I thought that might be fun. Now I'm not so sure, so whether I cut the pieces and I try it, but then I suppose it's a waste of time. I don't know. I'll show the images, let me know what you think in the comments, and then I'll make a decision. It was just something to make it look a little bit different and maybe not too traditional, because I think sometimes jackets in this kind of fabric can look a little bit old-fashioned if you make them in a certain sort of blazer style. So that was what I was trying to get away from with the denim jacket look and the brass buttons and so on. So that's just another thought that I had. And something else that I want to talk about was I feel like I'm having a bit of decision fatigue from all the sort of odd bits of fabric that I've got left. So I've got lots of oddments left over from various projects, and I don't like to throw them away, as I've said before. And I think sort of years ago when I only had a few, I always had something in mind, so I just got on with it and I made something with it and it was done with, and then I'd move on to the next thing when I had something new to make. Now, because I've got so many oddments of fabric and bits of notions left over, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with what to do with them. So if you've got any ideas, I'd love to hear from you. I think it's sort of a recent thing. Usually when I've got sort of works and projects to be getting on with, which is usually my normal working week, I've got something that I need to be getting on with. I take the next project out, I work through it, I'm quite comfortable with that. But I think sometimes when you've got lots of decisions to make, and what shall I make next, and what shall I do with this piece, and I don't want it to go to waste, you can get in a little bit of a, I don't know, going round in circles with it. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way. And also with all the patterns, wondering which ones to make, how best to use up the bits, and make sure that you're going to end up with something that you use and that you wear and you've not wasted your time also. So I do think that that can be, I don't know, quite tiring trying to make up your mind sometimes. I know that is a real, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Might seem like something of a non-problem, but I do like to be busy and I do like to be getting on with things, and I do find that when I've not got a project to be getting on with, my mind sort of wanders and I do get really sort of restless. I don't like just sitting and watching the TV all the time or things like that. So I do like to be working with my hands, so that's probably why I feel like this. So I would like to hear from you in the comments if that's something that you deal with too. And if you've got any ideas for scrap busting projects, I try to come up with as many as I can, but if you've got ones that I've not thought of maybe, I'd love to hear from you. So that's all from me for today. Hopefully we'll make a decision on what exactly I'm doing with the jacket soon, and I will be back soon and I'll let you know my progress with that and what I've decided to go for. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.